Hey guys, so today we're going to be making spinach artichoke dip. If you want to see how we did this recipe from start to finish, then keep on watching. Hey guys, so today we're going to be making our spinach artichoke dip. So this is we've made this before, but we've never brought it to the channel. We actually went to the Cheesecake Factory like a week ago. Shout out to the people that are joined on Patreon. You guys saw everything that we ate. So I was obsessed with it, their version of it. So I wanted to make my own. So here's some of the ingredients that you're gonna need. We got some garlic, some onions, because in the Cheesecake Factory recipe they use shallots, but we're gonna use onion. Of course, butter. We have some cream cheese. We have some, I don't know why Darlene bought a packaged cheese like this, because in the recipe they say to use real cheese, because this one comes with a residue, but we might just use this for the topping. We are going to be making our own roux. The milk is in the fridge.
And we're going to use butter. We're going to need flour. So that is all in the cabinets and in the fridge.
And then here we have our spinach. I'm going to show you how I prepped my spinach. When you're doing this recipe, you have the option of getting frozen spinach, which is the best thing. Of course, Darlene did not listen to instructions. She went to the supermarket and got the regular spinach in a bag, which you can do it like that.
Guys, ask her, why didn't she go? Why didn't she go and get it herself?
You know why I didn't go. But anyways, enough of that. So you can do it like this. I'm going to show you how to prep it. The only thing you want to do with this is you want to squeeze out all the liquid, because spinach does retain a lot of liquid, and you want to draw out all that with liquid, because if not, your spinach dip is going to be too liquidy. And then we have our artichokes that are marinating. I'm just going to drain them and I'm going to chop them finely, and then we'll proceed to the next step.
So here I have 4 bags of spinach. I was going to say lettuce. So this is what we're going to be using. You could buy frozen one because it's easier. It makes your life easier. But at the time I didn't find it in the frozen section. Maybe because I didn't head there first. But we're just going to take a little bit of butter, add it to the pan, and then we're just gonna wilt these down.
So right now, as you can see, let me turn on the heater because I put it lower. I'm putting spinach in here. I put a little bit of butter at the bottom. The reason I'm doing this, I'm actually doing this 2 nights before, is because Darlene made a crucial mistake. I told her to get frozen, and so you could do it like this, but the only problem with these are, you know that spinach has a lot of liquid, so
and it wilts down a lot. So
we will need like hopefully these 3 bags and a half, because I'm gonna save half of it for another dish that you guys will see. Will give for enough, enough for the spinach artichoke dip, if that makes any sense.
We're not gonna be measuring anything. We just eyeball here, so hopefully it works out. So as you can see, the first bag is almost wilted down. That's why it's better, I think, to buy the frozen one, because it's less expensive. And
you'll need to go through a lot of bags just to get like 1 container. And so then
we're gonna add a little bit at a time. And if you wanted to, you can boil this, but this is the easiest way to do it.
If you boil it, it's just gonna retain more water. So you might as well just let it steam and let it do its thing.
Yeah, and this is kind of on high right now, medium high, so just take your time and do it little at a time.
Guys, so this is what the spinach is looking like. Darlene did season it with some salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and as you can see, look how much liquid we have already here. These are 3 big bags of spinach, so this is why I wanted to do it the night before, because I'm going to let this cool completely, get cold, and then I'm gonna wring out the water, and I'll show you what that step looks like when we're ready to do
Here is my spinach, finally chopped and drained. Well, we had to take a mopine and squeeze it out. We did it like 3 or 4 times. This was the worst idea for me to buy fresh spinach. So here is our artichoke. We took it out of the liquid that came in the little container or in the little glass jar. And now we just finely chop it to your liking. If you want it a little bit more like rustic and thicker, then just don't even cut it if you don't want to. We like it to be a little bit, big pieces and small pieces, so that throughout eating we get a little bit of spinach and artichoke. So I am just gonna mince my garlic, and then we'll move on to the next step. So here I have some garlic and onion chopped up finely. Now I'm gonna take like 2 tablespoons of butter and I'm just gonna let this melt. I did add a little bit more butter. I don't know if I recorded that part or not. I'm gonna be letting this completely melt, and now I am going to take 2 tablespoons of flour that I am going to add to the pan. As you can see, there's 1 and there's 2, and now I'm just gonna take my whisk and mix this all together and make sure that the flour is not raw. So I'm just incorporating this with my butter, as you can see there. So I'm making sure that all the flour is cooked with the butter, because I don't want it to taste like raw flour. So I'm just making sure I whisk this in very well. It's gonna look a lot clumpy, which that's okay. It's normal for that to happen. I was just making sure that it was dissolved very well. I added my onions and garlic, you guys. I made a crucial mistake. I should have added the onions and the garlic first with the butter and then add the flour, but it all worked the same. As soon as I added the onions and the garlic, it smelled like garlic, it smelled like onions. So everything worked out fine. As you can see, it's just gonna look really like gummy and pasty, but that's all right. Now what I'm going to be taking is some half and half. As you can see, I'm showing you there, and I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time, because you want to make sure you incorporate this a little bit at a time. You just don't want to add all of it at one time, which you can do that, but it becomes harder to mix together. So you just want to add it little at a time, and it just becomes easier. The more milk you add, the more you dissolve it, the more the flour is just going to soak up that milk. So as you can see how thick it is, you just continue to whisk everything together and then just add more milk. Add a little bit more. So it just takes your time. We eyeballed everything, you guys. We do not measure, like, you know, we don't look up a recipe and take word for word the recipe, just because, I don't know, I feel like because we've been cooking since we were like 13, 14 years old, we just eyeball everything. I don't know if you guys are like that. Like, it's trial and error. If it don't taste good, I'll add more seasoning to it. I always find a way of fixing my food, if you get what I'm saying. So here I added all my half and half, and now I'm just mixing everything together, making sure that everything is dissolved. As you can see, all the onions and garlic together. I am going to be seasoning this up. I can't even talk, with some salt and pepper. I want to put a lot of pepper. If you have white pepper, you can add white pepper. I know some people are like anal with that. Some people like to use white pepper. Some salt, and then I think I did add something else. I don't remember. Yes, I remember now. I'm gonna show you that in a couple seconds. And I'm just making sure that everything is incorporated with the salt and pepper. And now my hidden secret is a little bit of nutmeg. This reminds me of watching 30-Minute Meals, Rachel Ray. Every time she would do like a roux or something like that, she would add a little bit of nutmeg, and she would say that her guests would say, what is that? Oh my God. As you can see, my sauce is nice and thick. So I shredded up my Asiago, my sharp cheddar, not my sharp cheddar, my sharp provolone, and my Parmesan cheese. And I'm just adding a little bit at a time, because I want this to become nice and thick and creamy and cheesy for when I add my spinach and my artichokes. This tastes so freaking good, you guys. You have no idea. So now I am taking my cream cheese, and I'm just gonna mix it in all together. I'm just gonna let this, melt a little bit. By this time, the pot is off. And I did add a little bit more milk, because I know I needed a little bit more milk. And I took a little bit of sour cream. I don't know if that's like maybe a spoonful or two. I think we put like two big squeezefuls of the sour cream, the Daisy sour cream that comes in the little, what's that called? The little pouch? Yeah, the pouch. Doop, 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 do a dollop of Daisy. Daisy, Daisy, Daisy. Oh my God, oh my God. So I'm just mixing everything in together. As you can see, it's becoming really cheesy. The cream cheese is melting away. And now we're almost ready to add the spinach. This was amazing. You want to taste it to make sure it's good with salt. I did add a little bit more salt to it. I didn't go overboard because I knew I was going to add more cheese. And since Parmesan is a little bit, you know, salty, you just don't want to go heavy with the salt. So I'm just mixing away. So I should be adding the salt right there. So now we should be ready almost for the spinach. Spinach should be going in. And I did have to take my artichokes. They were in a jar with some like vinegar water or something like that. So I had to squeeze the bejesus out of those artichokes. So it took me a while to do that, but it all worked out. It was not watery. It was not liquidy. It was just cheesy and perfect goodness. So here I'm just mixing all my spinach. So here I decided to add my artichokes because we are almost done. I just want to make sure that I mix everything in and that everything is coated with this cheesy, ooey gooiness of just cream sauce that we decided to make. This was the best spinach artichoke dip, and I am not tooting my own horn, but let me tell you, this was bomb. Fuego, fuego.
Fire, fire.
Fuego, fuego.
Fire, fire.
Ardiente, caliente.
Caliente, caliente.
We decided to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, add a little bit of the cheeses that we had, and just pop it in the oven. Here I decided to go to the dollar store and buy some cheese raviolis. I took 2 eggs and I added some garlic powder, some salt, and some pepper. And I am just using any type of breadcrumbs. You can find them anywhere. I did grate some Parmesan cheese, fresh Parmesan cheese.
Parmigiano.
Oh my God, and it makes such a difference. And I'm just breading it lightly and now just popping it in a fryer and just letting them go until they're crispy or like nice golden brown.
Okay, you guys, so these are the fried raviolis. These were from the Dollar Tree. They do sell them at any grocery store that you go to, Walmart, etc. All you gotta do is bread them in some eggs and some panko breadcrumbs or Italian breadcrumb seasonings.
And they have that all at the dollar store. So the only thing that you need to buy, if you want to buy it, to make it look like a $15 appetizer if you have guests over or just for yourself, just buy real Parmesan cheese, or you could use even the powder stuff. So look how good they look. I cannot wait to dig in. Okay, you guys, so this is the spinach dip out the oven. Look how good it looks. We're just gonna let it sit aside for a few minutes before we dig in. Yeah, I decided to take some tortillas. We're eating it with tortillas, but you could eat it with bread. You could eat it with carrots, celery. Like, who's gonna eat dip with celery and carrots? I know I wouldn't. Surprised.
I mean, you could take whatever, the kitchen sink. You could take a rock, whatever you want. Yo, this was fire. When I tell you this is so good, you have to make this. If you like spinach artichoke dip, you will not be disappointed. You guys, this is fantastic. When I tell you this is like restaurant star quality, this is amazing. The only thing that Darlene is, bitching at me is for, we didn't add mozzarella cheese and we wanted that ooey gooey, but even when you dig into it, it has a crusty texture on top because of the cheeses that we did use. But of course, mozzarella is going to give it that stringy pull.
And the reason why I didn't want to use it was because it has that powder residue. And I'm like, let me not add it. But
it really doesn't need it.
No, it tastes so good. So if you're one that likes that stringy cheese pull, then go ahead and add a little bit of mozzarella. If not, this is a 5-star. This is 5-star spinach artichoke dip. You gotta go and make this at home immediately. So we hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. If you want to see more recipes like this, give it a thumbs up.
Damn.
Ooh.